1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6.
Do you ever get the feeling of being anxious or develop a worry that won't subside? This common feeling is known as anxiety. Knowing the difference between everyday anxiety and an anxiety disorder is very important. In this speech today, I'm going to inform you about the different types of anxiety disorders, the symptoms, the causes, and the treatments as well. It is important to learn about anxiety disorders and their symptoms because it may help you or someone you know recognize the issue and get help for it. I am credible to give this speech because I have done thorough research and very specific research on this topic. The 4 things that I'm going to talk about today are the different types of anxiety disorders, the symptoms, the causes, and the treatments. First, we must talk about the different types of anxiety disorders. Today, I'm going to talk about 3, but there are a lot of other ones that I'm not going to talk about. The first one that I'm going to talk about is specific phobia disorder. This is the most common, with 8 to 12% of people experiencing it. The next most common is social anxiety disorder. About 7% of the general population experience this disorder, and the least common that I'm going to talk about is generalized anxiety disorder. Only about 2% of the population experiences this one. All of these disorders have something in similar. They can negatively affect a person's life if they experience them. It can negatively affect school or job performance, and it can even affect a person's personal life. This information is from psychiatry.org. Overall, there are multiple types of anxiety disorders, and all of these might have very similar symptoms. So next is the symptoms. All anxiety disorders are going to have a set of symptoms that they are all going to share. These are going to be restlessness, lack of sleep, and difficulty concentrating. Excessive worrying may also be present in most disorders. However, there is going to be a couple symptoms for each disorder that is going to set them apart from the others. This helps doctors be able to diagnose them properly. Specific phobia disorder's main symptom is the extreme fear and avoidance of a specific object. Social anxiety's main symptom is going to be the fear and extreme anxiety from social settings and large crowds. Generalized anxiety disorder's main symptom that sets it apart is excessive worrying about non-specific life events or health-related events. This information is from medicalnewstoday.com. The symptoms of anxiety disorders may be all very similar, but there are going to be set symptoms for each disorder that set them apart from the others. But next, just like the symptoms, the causes of anxiety disorders are all the same. There are 2 big causes for all anxiety disorders, and the first one is brain chemistry. According to Owen Kelly with a Very Well Mind, extreme stress and anxiety can create a chemical imbalance in one's brain. He also says that this chemical imbalance can increase a person's risk of developing an anxiety disorder. Another big cause for developing an anxiety disorder is trauma and experiences. Venezuela with June Counseling says that experiencing trauma as a child can lead to an increased risk of an anxiety disorder. She also says that this trauma can cause people's fight or flight system to be overreactive, which leads to an increased risk of developing a disorder. These are only a few potential causes, and there are always different causes. Everybody's cause is different, but doctors will not be able to pinpoint the exact cause but these risk factors can increase a person's risk of developing one. Finally, the most important thing about having an anxiety disorder is recognizing it, and seeking out treatment. There are two main forms of treatment for anxiety disorders. One of them is psychotherapy. This is also known as talk therapy. It can help a person get through their thoughts, and it can help teach them a different way of thinking that can help relieve their symptoms. Another way to treat an anxiety disorder is medication. Medications can help fix the chemical imbalance that may be present if a person has an anxiety disorder. They are only typically used for a short-term fix or use to help relieve symptoms, as they are not a permanent solution for the disorder. With a combination of both psychotherapy and medication, though, anxiety disorders can be treated if a person reaches out and gets the help. Overall, in this speech, I have informed you about the different types of anxiety disorders and the factors that go along with them. The main things I have talked about are the different types of anxiety disorders, including specific phobia, social anxiety disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder. I've also talked about the causes, the symptoms, and the treatments for these disorders. With this information, I hope that you may be able to help yourself or your friends and family recognize if they have an issue and get the help that they may need. Being able to recognize an anxiety disorder may save someone's life or even their quality of life. Thank you.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,